2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It's today, August 14th, 2020, and we're talking to you about Michael Cohen, Lindsay Cohen. We're talking to you about Michael Cohen and the era of Trump books. And I swear I talk all the time. I don't know why I struggle with this guy's name so much.
It happens. It happens.
Anyways,
usually it's an early excuse because it's late.
Yeah, it's like 2 in the afternoon. Maybe I'm in some weird. Anyways, yes. Doing the sound check here. Go ahead and say something, coders.
Something, coders.
Okay, good. Everything's good. We don't have our usual accomplices, so. But
yeah, we kind of just went in for it.
So yes, Michael Cohen is Trump's former attorney, testified against him, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everyone who knows Trump is probably going to end up turning at him at some point. So let's just see how.
Once it all starts crashing down, it'll happen.
Agreed.
I don't see it lasting very much longer, but you never know with this upcoming election. I say as soon as he's out of office, that's when everything falls apart for them.
Right on. Did you let everyone know that we're streaming?
For them.
Oh crap.
Yep.
All right.
I'll double check it. I'll post in the group chat. We'll get Dan and everyone in here.
But so here's the general practice that's been going on lately. People have been writing books about Trump because, logically speaking, if you want to attack someone, simply do so in a way that they'll never know, because we all know Trump cannot read.
At least not past the 5th grade level.
You give him a lot of credit for knowing how to read.
Oh my goodness.
He did the same thing I did. Checked on the stream health and it came out loud.
I did it on my phone this time. I don't usually do that.
But yes, we've got we got Michael Cohen. We've got Mary Trump. I hope I got her name right. But we've got Michael Bolton. So I'd like to compare these books, these written works, to Donald Trump Jr.'s book, Triggered, at some point during this viewing.
Okay.
Which is, I don't know. Every time I see Donald Trump Jr.'s face, I don't get triggered so much as I'm just surprised that he can have so much confidence while looking that ugly.
Oh yeah, he looks like a fish of some sort, like a trout maybe.
It's the beard.
I don't know what it is.
Like,
the beard does not complement the rest of his face for sure. Even without the beard. I'm not
saying that looks are that important or anything, but like when you walk around with that much swagger, you'd think that it'd be, I am so disturbed by when you can see the the effects of drugs and stuff on somebody.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Anyways,
that man's done a couple of cocaines in his days.
Back to Michael Cohen's book. The foreword released recently, and you have prepared some notes. Why don't you jump on into that, coders?
All right, let's see what's a good one to start with here. I just kind of read through it, and I just wanted to saved a couple that I thought would be interesting.
I'm not gonna lie, it looked like you copy the entire foreword into Notepad.
There's a lot to talk about here when you read it. Like, it's not a long read either. It's about a page of stuff. So it's a 10-minute read, maybe 15 if you're it's nothing too crazy. But the first one I got, this was just this was literally like the second sentence I wanted. Like, All right, so he says, "Let me say it the way Donald Trump would. He wouldn't mind if I was dead." That's how Donald Trump talked, like a mob boss, using language carefully calibrated to convey his desires, his demands, while at the same time employing deliberate and indirect to insulate himself and avoid actually ordering a hit on his former personal attorney, confidant, etc., etc.
Lover?
So like,
No, I'm kidding.
yeah, he said adopted son as well. He just lists a whole bunch of different adjectives to trying to say that like, we were good friends, we were close, and he's saying about how Donald Trump uses his wording to get around things a lot, and we've seen like a lot of these things he says we've seen before, like in
Yeah.
his actions. So it's interesting to note that a lot of these things.
Well, I mean, we heard it in the beginning. Like, when you feel so immune to anything, when you feel so immune to anything that you go around telling people, haha, I'm immune to everything. For some reason, that feels like the my dad works at Nintendo lie that people
Yeah.
used to say as children.
Yep.
It's just very weird to me. Um, but it's it's the Fifth Avenue comment. It's like Donald Trump sat there, announced to the world, "You can't do anything to me, and I can get away with anything." Right?
Yeah.
It's I'm trying to remember what's the name of that show where the guy is just like doing like a weird gooby dance while he dodges bullets. Like
Nothing's coming to mind when you say that.
I can't. It's not important, but like it's just I don't want to compare him to Neo from the Matrix. Because
He doesn't
it's
deserve such a
classless.
title. Yeah.
Yes, but yeah. So it's we have this guy who knows again. So this is all from Michael Cohen's book, and we should not take this as truth. We should just take this as a reliable source.
Hmm.
Um, it's so hard to say that too, because like I want this all to like it sounds so accurate, but
Oh, he outed himself a lot too. So I mean, it's not like he's only he's trying to say that he's innocent and that Trump was the one who did everything. Like he's also saying like, yeah, I was involved in a lot of the stuff he was doing too. Like, you'll see it in some of the quotes that I saved as well. Like one
yeah,
I don't. He did do jail time. And, like he was on trial and stuff. So like, he did come clean. He had to admit a lot of things. So it's not just him or not just Donald Trump that's to blame in this situation.
yeah. This is a good. I mean, Cohen got in trouble for this in jail. Now he's writing a book about it. That could also be something to question the motives of it. You know?
Yeah. Now that he's caught, he wants to go and tattletale. But so he could be fabricating things. That's why we said not to take it as truth, but a reliable source because of how close he is to Donald.
Well, that could also go two ways. Is it really? Would he really be making it? What's the motive to make things up? That's the
Yeah.
right. But yes,
I
go ahead and go
thought
to
when
the
I was
next
reading
one.
it too.
I remember the next one was pretty long. You might want to like,
Yeah. All right.
but yeah, go ahead.
All right, so this one is, he says, ever since I flipped and agreed to cooperate with Robert Mueller, the special counsel's office, and the special counsel's office, sorry, the death threats came by the hundreds on my cell, by email, snail mail, and tweets on Facebook. Enraged Trump supporters vowed to kill me, and I took those threats very seriously. The president called me a rat and tweeted angry accusations at me as well as my family. All rats deserve to die, I was told. I was as low life as Judas, and they were going to hunt me down. I was driving because I couldn't fly. I couldn't take the train to Washington. If I hadn't, I'd be sure I'd be mobbed or attacked. So I think that's a good place to stop there because it's just pretty much. Oh,
Right.
he actually quotes the quotes that I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. So he's pretty much saying like how scared he was after actually coming clean, or if he did come, whatever,
Flipping
people
after
attacking him.
changing
Yeah,
sides. Yeah.
So he had to realize he did have like there was repercussions to what he did. He didn't just do it just to do it.
Right.
Maybe. That's how
So
I'm looking at it, at least. Someone wouldn't put themselves out there usually for no reason.
now, assuming that this is true, um, let's look at this and consider other people who are in Trump's circle. I mean, here's my thought: can Trump do these kinds of things from jail, from prison, from put a non-hit out on somebody?
Right.
Like, is there a way for Trump to circle money around from inside prison walls?
I think there's a way. Probably.
Um, what do we have to look forward to with the coming years? All these people coming in about Trump. I think Trump knows that when he loses office, people are going to flip on him,
Oh yeah.
and I just need this to be a reminder. Yes, they need to flip. No, we do not need to reward them for flipping, because they should have done that when he was still president, not to save face afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. No one should reward. Like, if you're just gonna stand by this whole time and let the whole entire country fall and get, you know what I mean, like go through all of this, like, nah,
Like
that's not
right after
happening.
they do that, right, like immediately after they flip on Trump, um, I'm going to be like, hey, actually, now it's time for your trial.
Right. I'm sure.
Complacency.
Uh, I'm sure
I'm
much.
not working out some kind of deal with you for this. You go ahead and flip. Hope your voters like you, but they can like you when you're in a prison cell, buddy.
Real man. This isn't just like a normal like company. You know what I mean? Like a corrupt company. This is like the whole entire United States. You know, like this is different. This is a different scale of corruptness. Like, uh, it's ridiculous.
It's even worse because like it's all being seen happen, and nothing's being done about it because
Hmm.
it can't be done about it. Everyone knows it's a waste of time to try.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's just really messed up.
Well, the thing is,
Uh,
it might not even just be the United States because this guy, in the forward, he talks about him himself talking to Russia at different people there. You know what I mean? Like about different tactics and like talking to billionaires over there and stuff. Like,
yeah.
so it's deeper than just the United States too. Like we're getting into the whole world here, being in like this weird power thing. Like,
What
I
do
don't
we
know.
do about it though? Like, do you think
Exactly.
we should put charges on Trump when he gets out?
I think so. I mean, if all these things that are being said are true, then yeah, he should. As soon as he steps out of office, that should be one of the first things that happens.
So here's the issue with that. All right, and I'm about to drop some Avatar: The Last Airbender knowledge here, right?
Okay.
Uh, do you remember what Uncle Iroh said when he was when he was looking when they were about to overthrow Ozai? Uh,
I don't remember off
that
the top of my head now.
Oh well, he's like the reason that he didn't take over is because it would look like just brother attacking brother for power and things like that. Like there's a
Okay.
responsibility for how things look when you take over power, right? So if we just put Trump in chains, right, then that looks like that sets a new precedent.
Oh, it almost looks like we got the bad guy. Like even though it's deeper than just him being the bad guy.
No, what I mean is, um, look at QAnon, right? What are they going to think about that? It looks like first it does two things. One, it sets the precedent, which means people in the future can do that to their predecessor every time,
Okay.
right? So that we don't want to go every time there's a new president. There's also going to be a new trial, you know. Um, so we have to set a standard for why we are going after Trump. If we do it, that cannot be repeated on every president until the end of America, you know. Um,
Right, right. I get what you're saying.
and second, we have to make sure that it doesn't look like a manipulation of power, and then we have to make sure that it's safe because we lock Trump up, all his fanatics are going to like jump on it.
Right,
Um,
right.
yeah, and we know how they are.
But if
And
it's
yeah, over here,
the thing is,
Daniel and Logan are chit chatting.
yeah, it's good to see
Logan
you
says,
guys.
"There's a will, there's a way." Um, and Daniel says, "It looks almost set up too perfectly." I'm not sure what he means. What looks almost set up too perfectly, but he said it.
I don't know if
But
he's referring to how everything's panning out. I mean, if the whole, but if how many, how do we figure out who's all corrupt? You know what I mean? Like, because everyone's just gonna keep throwing blame around everywhere. So you know, it's almost like just, mm, it's a weird spot to be put in.
yeah,
All
I
these
agree.
people, and it runs so it's not. How long has it been going on? How many people is it? You know, it's so it almost feels too much to even stop. You know, at this point, it's so far past being able to stop.
Yeah. Um, I'm just gonna remove the chat window because the chat window is not working today. On our broadcast, just gonna point that out to people. The most recent update that YouTube did, a lot of live streamers are having the same issues we were having. We weren't just screwing things up, it turned out. It was actually the YouTube update messing up, creating phantom streams for people, um, where they have like a stream back in 1969.
Yeah, we
Like,
were streaming to the past for a while.
yeah, it screwed things up. They haven't fixed it. They haven't made an announcement about it. They're just sitting there quietly in their towers messing with us. So yes, there are some features that are not working with like I think it's called authentication keys,
Yeah.
um, and stream URLs and things like that. But yeah, the stream key is what's problematic. So I do apologize about that.
At least
But
it's good to know it. We're not messing it up. I
yes,
don't, on our end. So do you want me? I think we can move on to the next quote here. I got from the book.
absolutely.
It's really hard to read too because the forward that we got it replaced all the apostrophes with question marks. So when I'm reading it, like there's just like a bunch of question marks that pop
Would,
up everywhere.
would you like me to read it?
No, no, you can.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I just think that when I was reading it, it was just funny. But this one I thought was really interesting because they're like trying, like they're blackmailing him and stuff almost. But it says, "Hey, Michael Cohen, do your wife and father-in-law know about your girlfriends?" Representative Gates tweeted me at that night, just to cite one example of the juvenile idiocy and the menace aimed towards my direction. I wonder if she'll remain faithful to you when you're in prison. She's about to learn a lot. Like what? Like that's and where yeah,
I,
we also brought the tweet up here on screen for you guys to read too. Like they really
yeah,
said this on Twitter. Like grown men, like not even just grown men, but like people who are in government are doing this. That's insane to me. Like that stuff did not happen. You know what I mean? Like, uh,
if I went and told someone that this happened, they would call me a liar on the spot. Like no one
dude,
would believe this.
I had to go and stop and be like, no way, and I had to look up this situation. Like, I had to type in Michael Cohen, cheating wife, tweet. Because I was like, there's no way that someone actually posted this on Twitter, and yep, there it is, right there in front of our face. It really
Ding
said
ding
that.
ding. So it's actually funny because I think I quoted this one at you guys when it happened.
You probably did,
Um,
honestly.
like this is just like what they were trying to do is they were trying to get him to stop testifying, like to refuse to testify. Like, oh, what do they know? Like, I think this was just shot in the dark. Like, I think Matt Gaetz just made like a random shot in the dark. Like, maybe he's got a girlfriend.
Right.
Because the standard. What does that say about the standard of Republican? Uh, sorry, what's the word? Politicians. Are
Yeah.
all the Republican politicians over there just like having side pieces or whatever you want to call it?
Well, he
Um,
does talk in the forward about going to strip clubs and stuff with Trump. So,
yeah, but no, I'm just
but,
talking about like Matt Gaetz here. Like again, another
hmm
punchable face. This is the guy who wore a gas mask. Like this guy's a meme, bro. This guy really is like not mean, but mean. We talked about this kind of person. He's like I'm gonna act like a fool, and people are going to notice me, and I'm gonna create a ruckus.
probably
Like
has a second alternate Twitter account where he trolls people on the daily. Like that's the kind of guy he portrays to me.
like this. No, he doesn't need to. He's all public about it. He likes to irritate.
Wait, he did tweet
Um,
that. So I mean,
like they were investigating witnesses, right? And Matt Gaetz is the guy who organized a bunch of Republican senators, a bunch of like this guy plus a whole bunch of old, like really old guys, just like storming the uh, room that he was allowed to be in, by the way, right?
yeah.
Like apparently he got people together and stormed the room because they weren't allowed to be in there, right?
hmm
When he was allowed to be in there.
Everyone just stops and looks at him and go, "Hey, what's up, man? Come sit down."
That'd be
He's like
hilarious.
he's trying to make like a grand entrance. Like, "Oh, hey, finally you made it." Just imagining everyone like no one reacting at all. Like everyone just like looks over and then continues to go back to their work.
Yeah, well, they were They were interviewing a guy. There were some Republicans in the group who were not allowed to be in there. Um, it was a special counsel. You can't have every.
Around all the time, like
It was, some people have to work. But yeah, so we have that.
hmm
Something weird just happened to the stream.
yeah, I saw that man. It, like stop for a second, but I think it's back and running good. So
Yeah, the
we got Dave.
recording just reset at 21 seconds now. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened there,
Sorry.
but
DT comes in with the public defiling of people. It's kind of disgusting. It really is. I don't like. I've seen it from both sides, kind of here and there. Now it's Twitter. The people just say whatever they want, and it's just toxic. I don't know if you should be allowed to be tweeting stuff if you're, you know what I mean, in office. I don't know, like
no.
it's
No, you get in the gray area of freedom of speech.
yeah, I know, but
You should
like
be held to a much stronger standard.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you should have respect for yourself and the people around. Like I don't know, man. It's honor.
Why is Matt Gaetz not in jail for witness intimidation
Well, there we go.
when that's clearly what is going on here?
That is like you can read that once. Oh, the stream's doing that again. What? Is that just me?
I have no idea,
Yeah.
but
Maybe
looks
I'll
good
just
on
be
my
buffering.
end.
No,
But
it's
yes,
weird.
so yeah, like witness intimidation. Why is he not in jail for witness intimidation? It's gross. Like it's. I think that it's gross incompetence on everyone's part, but like it's a situation where if we arrest everyone for every crime that they've been doing, then everyone on the Republican side, not everyone, but like maybe half of the Republican side would be in chains. Would be
Mhm.
cuffed and taken away. But like they stormed a courtroom. Anyone else storms a courtroom and who isn't supposed to be there will go to prison. You know,
Right.
how come
Why not
these
them?
people are so far above that?
That's a good question. That's
You had that guy who was just like tapping. It's like really loud into
oh
the
yeah, that
microphone.
was so stupid. I hated that so much. It's just that's so childish. I don't understand why. Like, why can't we just speak like adults and
Like
professional at our job? You know, like
it's just so like who was it? Like Fauci talking.
I think so. One of them.
It's one of the someone for health stuff. It was Louis Gomer. Um, which is really funny because he ended up didn't he end up getting no, I forget who got it. I think Louis Gomer got. I just try not to pay attention to people. I don't want to give them that
It's
platform.
sad that
Yeah.
There you go. There it
I
is.
know
There's
what you
that
mean.
tapping right there. I'm gonna play the clip here. Um, Actually, for the viewer listeners,
It used to be said that Bill Barr does regularly
Like I said
lie
earlier, it's just
in ways
elementary stuff,
that
you know?
coders, I'm playing a clip.
impact official action.
Mr. Chairman, there's not order in the room. There's a banging.
No, there's certainly not.
Yeah, so that's it. That's the tapping that Louis Gohmert was doing while we had while there was someone testifying on Capitol Hill. So that's the thing. And yeah, now now it's stopped. Coders, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just saying it's just elementary. Like it's something you see a child do when they're not getting their way.
It's the
You know what I
I'm
mean?
not
It's the same.
touching you. I'm not. It's what the
Yeah.
heck is this?
Yeah, the stuff that you usually learn by the end of middle school. Like, okay, we're past this now. Like, that's just people don't like that. It's annoying. Got it. But no, apparently not.
We have to look at what was being said about what was being talked about when the tapping started. They were talking about Bill Barr, the Attorney General, who is, yes, covering things up for Trump. I don't care what anyone says. That's just what it is. So yeah, like there's nothing to do. And, man, Gohmert is like so irritating because like he represents my state. Like they are representatives of a state, and I don't want them representing me that way. You know,
Right. Making
like
everyone look bad.
yeah.
I think now's a good time to move on to the next quote we have here.
Yeah,
All
go
right.
ahead.
So here he talks about. All right. So he says Trump has colluded with the Russians, but not in the sophisticated ways imagined by his detractors. I also knew that the Mueller investigation was not a witch hunt. Trump had cheated in the election with Russians' convenants. Is that convey? What? As you will discover in these pages, because doing anything, and I mean anything to win, has always been his business model and way of life. I think that one's
Connivance.
interesting because because he has done a lot of weird things to get to where he's at, like business wise too, before the presidency and all that stuff.
We want to talk about childishness too. We're talking about Trump just like colluding with the Russians, but not sophisticated. It's like basically saying Trump's too stupid to.
Yeah, that's why I saved that one because he says not. He's like, yeah, he did collude with them, but not how you think he would, like how someone would normally do that.
So like the way I imagine it is schoolyard dynamics. You have that one kid who always seems to like know everything, and then you have that other kid who talks slower and always hangs out with the kid who knows everything, and the kid who knows everything always ends up getting the slower kid in trouble. By getting the slower kid to do the things that he wants that benefit him.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is a slow kid in that analogy.
Yeah.
And not to say that slow kids, are problematic, but it's we got Trump being. That's why we don't want someone like Trump in office, easily manipulated.
Exactly.
I will say, do not buy Michael Cohen's book. Buy Mary Trump's book. Do not reward Michael Cohen for flipping the slate. Like, read it illegally online, as far as I care. Although I don't know if it's illegal.
PDF.
Yeah, I'm not telling people to upload it online illegally, but I am telling people to read it online if they find someone had uploaded it illegally online. That's not illegal where I'm at.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this guy does not deserve your money. I mean, he's a bad, he's a POS just like Donald is, because there's some things here that he talks about doing too, and it's like, man, like, come on.
Yeah, moving on to your next quote. We've got,
All right.
apart from his wife and children, I knew Trump better than anyone else did. In some ways, I knew him better than even his family did. By the way, I'm going to point out that even his family would be included in anyone else. But yeah, no, because I bore witness to the real man in strip clubs, shady business meetings, and in the unguarded moments when he revealed who he really was. A cheat, a liar, a fraud, a bully, a racist, a predator, a con man. Donald Trump, running for office 2020. Like,
see, I think these things are like a lot of the stuff he says is definitely things we've seen before. Like
it's things that Trump used to be proud of.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's like, I'm not upset by this. Are you upset by this?
I mean,
Like,
this just seems to confirm everything, like. But that's why you got to take it with a grain of salt too.
but yeah. Really, this quote is just Cohen saying that Trump's a cheater, a liar, a fraud, a bully, racist, predator, and a con man. Not much to take apart from there.
Yeah, I just thought it
Uh,
was a definitely one to because this guy's been around him a lot. So
yeah.
if
So
anyone
just
would
someone
see
who's
his true
close to
side,
him knows this. Like someone close to him is saying this. That's a good reflection of yeah. But
would
but
you like
yeah,
to take
that's
the
what I
next
mean.
one or should I?
Oh, you go ahead. I just wanted to catch that one because it felt like a dramatic read, and I want to do my
All right.
dramatic read voice. Well, you should definitely do this one in a dramatic read voice, though, if you can. This one will be even funnier.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. One of the Republicans taunted me, perfectly expressing the stupidity and lunacy of his party's antics. To drive this point home, they actually made a sign with a picture on it in bold letters. The sign proclaimed, "Liar, liar, pants on fire."
It hits pretty deep.
Man, it does. That one's
hits
poetic
deep.
almost.
I don't
I
know
just,
which like they're not talking about like senators. I hope they're not talking about senators.
I hope
Like,
not, because that would just be sad. But at this point, I would not be surprised. I really wouldn't.
like they just brought a sign up. Like you're just like watching the impeachment hearings, and you just like see a sign slowly go up in the air that says "Liar, liar, pants on fire."
I'm just imagining it turn into WWE. Like that's what politics is going to be in the next like decade. Like it's
Have you
going to
seen
turn into
Idiocracy?
WWE like fake. Like nah.
What? Seriously, watch that movie. You will love it. I love that movie before
Oh,
Trump was in office. Like Terry Crews in that movie becomes president, and he's a world class wrestler. Like,
So it just makes sense at this point.
but yeah, so it's actually really deep and moving. They mentioned that thing I mentioned before too, that smart people didn't have sex or they used protection. They waited until they had their lives together before they started having kids. But the dumb people were like not doing that. They were just like screwing, and so like dumb people began to overpopulate the U.S., which led to bad decisions being made. Celebrities becoming president.
Yeah. If we think about that, it's not totally far fetched.
Right. Like I said, I definitely recommend watching it because it's
What's it called again? I'm gonna write it down so I can look at
Idiocracy.
it after we're done here. All right, that's typed in. Have that on the notepad.
Yeah, definitely worth it. I think we can actually review that movie for the channel if you'd like. That's actually that relevant. I'll watch it again if you want to. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that'd be a fun thing to incorporate on the channel. Some movie reviews and stuff like that. Take the edge off. All the serious talks here and there.
Yeah.
That could even be a podcast special every once a month maybe or something.
Yeah, I agree. But
it'd be something cool.
I believe he's talking about just someone in the crowd holding up a sign. So we can't do much about this, but like it's just funny to me. And that's not even a one-side thing. I've seen both sides resort to juvenile name calling. So.
Oh yeah. I just thought that was a funny one. Just imagining a senator holding up a sign like so everyone can see it at home. Move on to the next quote here. If you're ready to move on. All right. So, start quote. These types of scandals that surface in recent months will only continue to emerge with greater and greater levels of treachery and deceit. If Trump wins another 4 years, these scandals will prove only the tip of the iceberg. I'm certain that Trump knows he will face prison time if he leaves office. The inevitable cold karma to the notorious chance of lock her up.
See,
that
that's
one I thought was interesting.
Powerful because that's him projecting. I'm certain Trump knows he will face prison time if he leaves office. Like, he didn't say believes. He said, I'm certain Trump knows.
Yeah, that's why it's so powerful.
That's like if you live a life of crime and then you take office. Like that's like living a life of crime where no one pays attention to you, and then like jumping out in the middle of a crowd and going, "I'm a criminal. Look at me."
Mm-hmm.
Like just like announcing it to the world that you are
As soon
breaking
as
the
you,
law.
yeah, as
Yeah,
soon
go
as you
ahead.
become president, people are gonna start looking into everything you've ever done. You know what I mean? They're gonna research everything about you. You know, and now all these things are coming to light about him. You know, from years before, from now. You know, like everything's coming to light that he's done ever since he was a
We
kid.
mentioned how childish this was, but let's look at this. Like things that Trump says. That's not fair. That's unfair. People don't like me because of my personality. Like these are actual quotes from Trump, folks. Just so you know, I'm not like making these up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
excuse my language, but no shit, Sherlock. Although he thought it
Right.
was like because my personality is so good. He's like the reason they don't like me is because my personality is so good. Like that's
I'm
basically
just
what
so
he would.
charismatic. People can't
Yeah,
handle being in the same room as me.
yeah. They're just jealous of my swagger. You're just jealous of my presidential swagger.
Oh man.
It's just like I don't know. I was hoping the next president would have a gravelly voice.
That's not gonna happen.
It'd be. I don't know why. I just feel like the voice is important. Trump's kind of whiny. I don't think I've ever heard him go like get loud and aggressive. I've heard him scream over his chopper a few times. Like, I just realized, like, did other presidents have conferences like right
Right
by their
outside their
choppers?
helicopter. Yeah,
Like,
I
is
don't
that a
think
thing that
so.
happened?
Maybe it's because he knows they all know that he's just saying BS. So like, do you just put the chopper next to him so they can barely understand him, and maybe he'll sound a little bit better.
Yeah, to like you can't really use the audio from stuff like that in quotes, but we got to the point where we had to. You know, like I mentioned Goma earlier, tapping. You don't hear the taps. You don't hear the quotes that people that were being said while he was tapping, and basically they were outing Bill Burr.
Yeah.
But it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a lot of childish stuff, and somewhere where it should be the opposite of childish things going on. Like we need to take that job like very seriously. This is the safety of everyone here. You know, like I just that's what really gets me is the level that these guys are doing this childish stuff at is just like so much beyond anything. Like, oh man. But I do have one more quote on here on my notepad here.
Go
And I
for
think
it.
this one just kind of wraps up the whole childish stuff. So I think it just kind of is a good way to end it. Here it is. So during my testimony, Republican House members repeatedly asked me and promised me that I wouldn't write a book. I refused repeatedly. It was another way of saying I shouldn't be permitted to tell my story. In essence, giving up my First Amendment rights. It was a clear sign of desperation and fear. I have lost many things as consequence of my decisions and mistakes, including my freedom. But I still retain the right to tell the story about the true threat to our nation and the urgent message for the country it contains. I thought that was a good that's a good wrap up because like he's pretty much saying like yeah, I'm a bad guy. You know, like I've done a lot of mistakes, but I'm not gonna let it all just go to waste. I'm gonna at least try and get the whole story out there so people can at least know the truth about what's happening.
I would just like to hear this guy like say these things honestly, but then he doesn't
Yeah.
make me guy. Just get a microphone and be like, Trump peed on children in Russia, or whatever you have to
hmm
say. Like,
He did say something about golden showers in a Las Vegas sex club. That was one of the things I remember reading in that forward that you can go find. We should probably link that in there in the bottom at some point.
right? The the we have to think about this though. Like Trump inside, like okay, so let's take apart everything that was said in this thing, right?
hmm
And did you mention the golden showers
I
in your
didn't.
quotes?
I had a quote saved, but I'm pretty sure I just deleted it because I was like I don't know how we're gonna incorporate that in. But now that it's been mentioned, yeah, that's definitely something that was said. I'll see if I can find it while you're talking here.
Yeah, I'll grab it. Go ahead. You just keep talking about your stuff.
Yeah, but it's it was stating it was a whole. It wasn't just about golden showers in a Las Vegas sex club too. That was just one of the things mentioned around it. So like, there's a lot like this man's doing a lot of nasty stuff if this stuff is true. Like that's just one of the mentions of something like that this guy is getting brought up. And this
Right.
guy this guy's talking about being scared for his life, like going out like driving with a baseball cap and glasses on, like not looking at drivers in their eyes. Like they had this guy was really like risking his life out there. That's crazy.
All right, here we go. From golden showers in a sex club in Vegas, to tax fraud, to deals with corrupt officials from the former Soviet Union, to catch and kill conspiracies to silence Trump's clandestine lovers, I wasn't just a witness to the president's rise. I was an active and eager participant. First off, it's weird to hear someone say they were an eager participant.
Yeah, he said eager
to golden
which
showers.
Yeah.
Like this guy's like, man, I can't wait to commit tax fraud. Oh boy, let's go deal with them corrupt former Soviet Union officials. Like,
yeah.
Like,
I guess he's eager to live in that lifestyle though, like that.
Yeah, it's like
do whatever
the
I want.
Glamorized crime life. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's.
I mean, it's just how nonchalant he's mentioning all these things. You know, like it's important for people, even if you support Trump, like to look at that. You know what I mean, and take it. And actually, you know what I mean, like
yes.
you should not read it just because you don't want to hear what's in it. Because these things are more than like I'm not gonna say that they're true, obviously. You know what I mean, but like this guy's. If anyone's gonna come out and say truth things about Trump, I think this guy's up there.
Well, yeah, because he's been caught, and now people are like, "Well, we want to know all of it," and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Do you want to know all of it?"
Like this is an attorney, dude. Like people trust their attorneys with everything. You know, like
yeah, like Trump's like, this guy can't tell anything, but like this guy's not breaking the law, like unless they were dealing with something that was like this guy can say anything he wants if Trump had him there. Like they're talking about golden showers in a sex club in Vegas. Like, first off,
yeah.
I didn't know there were sex clubs in Vegas.
I was gonna say I don't think there's allowed to be sex clubs anywhere in the U.S. So that's probably
to mess up my search history here.
I know, like a lot of those sex clubs are usually very shady with their dealings with women. So you know that could be one of the things that people are talking about a lot on Facebook. That actually may be one of the that the guy they're trying to defend is actually a part of that in a way. I think that's another interesting thing to look at.
I guess I'm about to advertise for Sex Club Las Vegas, One Love Temple, Sea Mountain.
It's a thing. Oh,
yeah.
Huh. Who would have thought?
They have day beds.
Day beds. Oh my goodness, man, that's crazy.
They have like clothing optional pools, which, let's face it, it's gonna be a bunch of guys like grumpy that no girl showed up.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of dudes sitting in a pool. Oh man. So what?
Oh wow, their advertising is weird.
Sex club?
I'm gonna go. Yeah, it's actually a sex.
So they're
club.
advertising sex, like it's a thing. Wow, is that legal? I thought if prostitution's illegal, how would something like that be all right? You know?
Dude, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
I always see the argument like prostitution's illegal until you film it, or until you get a video camera or whatever. But like, that just seems so weird. How it's like we have all these rules against stuff like that, but then, except in Vegas, they're like, hey, can't have prostitution except over there. Okay.
Well, no, even there you can't. You have to have like you can have Nuru massages, and whatever happens. This actually applies to what we're talking about. It's getting by on a like when you know what the nature of the law is supposed to be, and you skirt around it. I feel like that's just that's worse than breaking the law. That's spitting in the face of the law. It's like like, oh yes, no, you can't have a prostitute, but you can hire someone to hang out with you, and if you have sex, then I guess you're having sex.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much like insulting the whole reason we have these laws put up in the first place.
But and that's not to say that I'm against prostitution workers either.
Oh no,
You know,
definitely. I think if it's safe and you know,
yeah, like it should be regulated like any career. Um, you know, I just don't think that prostitution should be illegal with with gun levels the way they are. It's like one of these
yeah.
things hurts people a little bit worse.
But that's if it's a safe environment. That's you know, I mean, like the buildings are regulated and people like testing is a regular thing to make sure that everyone's safe at all times. I think it's
Right.
something that you know, it's not that it's not that bad really.
Now, if
If you
it's a
really look at
building,
it.
you know that people will be like protesting outside, taking photos of everyone who goes in and posting them online and things like that.
Oh yeah, yep.
That's
We can't. We're
that's
not. We
problematic,
can't handle stuff like that in this culture.
right? It would suck if you if their if their AC went out or something, and you're like the HVAC guy, and like your wife
Oh
sees
my
a picture
God.
of you online going into a club.
Like, babe, I swear, I was just fixing the air conditioning. I'd wear a little GoPro on me the whole time. Like, look, babe, this entrance to exit,
Yes.
no cuts. I wasn't even looking. I swear.
like the GoPro is like on his chest though, so like he's like over there looking at the lady at the desk. But meanwhile, like his body is like just happens to be turning to follow a woman who's walking around topless. He's just like accidentally staring. Or no, there we go. Like the camera's on his chest. The woman at the front desk isn't wearing anything, so he's talking to her face, but like the camera's on her
Yeah.
chest.
Make it direct eye contact, trying to be a gentleman. Things
You
don't always
understand,
look
guys.
as they really are.
But yes, so books about Trump, that's becoming a popular trend. I think everyone's probably
Oh, yeah.
noticed at this point.
Yeah.
That
My mom actually got the Mary Trump one, so I'm gonna have to borrow it from her when she's done reading it.
yeah, it's like
Just
I
to see what
said.
that's
It's
all
like
about.
how do you how do you deal with Trump? You write a book because he can't read.
Yep, he'll
That's
never
the
be
only.
able to tell what's going on.
He's like, well, you're telling me these pictures are about me? No, those are called letters, sir. Oh, okay. What do they say? I don't have time for this. Like someone else read it to
Yeah,
me.
very busy.
Yeah.
Very busy. I'll get the audiobook.
I'd like this as a bedtime story, please. But sir, we were going to sing you Goodnight Moon tonight. Oh yeah, I love Goodnight Moon. All right, play with my hair. Don't go to bed yet, 'cause I think it's too early.
He probably got really excited when he saw the book with his picture on the front. He's like, "Oh, Mary finally, she loves me.
He's like, this. Look at this, a book about me. Like, I don't
All
know.
about me."
Like, if everyone wasn't talking about how bad it was about him, he probably would have like bought it and like publicized it, tricked people into buying
Oh
it.
yeah, advertised it and stuff. Oh my god.
Gotten everybody in the
the most-
Republican Party to like buy one at the RNC.
Dude,
and
imagine
stuff.
if she would have done that. Like just didn't even tell him like, "Hey, I wrote this book about you," and just like send him a bunch of copies.
Yeah, just like obviously it was publicized because there were issues with it before it came out. She had like there was like a thing with a non-disclosure agreement. Like, man, this guy has so many NDAs. Like, and I know it's been said on the late night shows and stuff, but still, what do you have to be doing where you have to get a non-disclosure agreement with everybody you associate with?
Exactly. You can't be doing normal things. Let's just say that.
Who's
you
gonna
know?
be like, yeah, no, you can't tell anyone about how good of a time you had with me and how cool I am. It's not allowed.
Yeah, like what?
Like,
And
what?
you think with how good he is at everything he does that he wouldn't mind, you know?
Yeah, like, yeah, people.
That's-
He talked about himself so much.
You see his most recent tweet? He said that he's done more than anyone. For
Thanks,
women.
Trump.
More than any president ever. For women,
Yes.
for the black community, for unemployment rates, he's the best that's ever done it.
Yeah.
Apparently.
The best there's ever been.
Yeah, he says it all like he's literally the same thing word for word every time. I just like how could you be that full of yourself?
Oh, someone's got to be full of him. I was gonna make a joke about Melania, but no.
She doesn't even want a part of him, so I'm sure they haven't slept in the same bed in years.
Uh,
That'd be my
Lord.
assumption.
I just it's so hard to wrap my mind around. If the goal is to break me, then you've succeeded. Thanks, politicians. You've broken me.
I just like America used to be all about like the good government, and like like unity of the people.
Freedom,
Well,
yeah,
not
like
actually.
freedom of the press.
Unity as far as they were, they still were wrong in that. Of course.
Oh yeah, but it's always gotten better. Like this is the
Yeah. If
first
we could
time I
get
can
to the
think where
level,
we've gone backwards.
yeah. If we could get that kind of trust in our government again, and the acceptance of people around us, we could have such an amazing place to live in.
We have white supremacists delivering Drano bombs to old ladies of color. Like that's
Yeah,
just gross. Blood and Soil is trash. If anyone from Blood and Soil wants to fight me, like just hit me up here. I'll meet you anytime, any
Same.
place. We'll have a mutual. Are you sure, coders?
Left some fisticuffs, of course, man. Oh man, you don't know about my past.
Okay. I don't know. You're
I know
right.
that any white supremacist can pull up, either to Texas or to Pennsylvania, and we're ready. But either side of the world too. So like whichever side y'all are on, whichever's closer, let us know.
Yeah. Well, not the world. Let's say the United States, but yeah, like
Yeah.
just like hit us up and we'll give us your longitude and latitude.
Yeah, we'll have a duel. We'll have a fisticuff match.
Yeah, like a classic duel, like uh, an agreement for mutual combat. Like,
Yep.
yeah, we'll do it. Like, I do not mind solving some things with violence.
Some things need to be solved with violence. I'll say like not everything, but sometimes you just gotta
like
throw
it's
hands.
just that like they're so private about it. They're never like actually like yeah, they go out and they do like protests and stuff, but like there's a reason the KKK wears masks. Still,
Exactly. Scared.
Yeah,
Scared to really show your beliefs. Like if you're gonna be about your beliefs, be about it. Like we've already talked about this. Why are you so scared?
Yeah, not only
Your belief,
chicken,
your
but
belief
they rape
has to
meat.
be flawed. If you can't even really actually be about it.
We have no one really. Have you ever noticed that nobody ever really comes to the defense of Trump? Like ever, they instead they go to like they never like defend the things that are said about him. They always just instead go on to a new topic. So you might say,
attack someone else.
Like if I quote this, I bet you somewhere on Twitter people are discussing this, and the Trump supporter defense is either A, Cohen's lying, or B, but look at all the good Trump's done.
Yeah,
like,
and there's like
how
two
much
things
good,
I can say for that.
Well, let's create a system here, and again, I challenge Trump supporters to answer this question: how much good outweighs raping a child? Like, you just put a number to that, okay? Let's say doing your chores around home is a 1, right? Creating jobs for the black community is a 10. Score it like that. How many points do you need to be like, man, that guy was a pedophile, but he did all these things good, and everyone would be like, yeah, that's okay. Like, where's the balance point there? Like, let's ignore the whole storming into the Miss Teen pageant dressing room to see the girls changing. Let's get rid of Stormy Daniels. Let's get rid of all the women that he's sexually assaulted allegedly. Let's just focus on the one thing, like being an actual engaging in sexual pedophilia with your buddy Jeff Epstein, with a 13-year-old girl. Like, well, what do you got to do to balance that out?
Yeah, when does God give you a pass for that one, or even forgiveness for doing all these things that He's the best at?
That was a weird way to say it, but yeah.
Sorry.
When do we like? I keep hearing it every time anyone says anything. Like look at all the good he's done. Like, you can say something bad about Trump. Doesn't have to be that either. It could be like a bad policy. And everyone's like, best economy ever. I'm like, okay, all right. Well, now that's not true. Like, y'all are just mad. I'm like, what do I imagine all Trump supporters sound like that?
Yeah. Well, the thing with the Epstein thing too, you'll like people will use that and they'll be like, that got debuffed, and you'll be like, it got debunked. You'll be like, where did it get
didn't.
debunked at?
It never got
And then
debunked. It
like
dropped out of the court because
exactly,
of a filing error.
exactly. People are like, oh, it got debunked, and then you'll be like, how did it get debunked though? And they're like, they don't got nothing. Then they just go on to something else, and it's just
Oh,
sad.
no, they go off to a different subject and say the same thing to someone else.
Exactly. That's what's most
like,
toxic. They can't even accept the fact they were wrong. They have
it's
to
like
go
when they're wrong, they just like stop talking in the conversation and then go be wrong somewhere else. It's like, if I don't accept it, I'm not wrong. Like,
if I don't look up the facts, then I'm not wrong.
it's, oh my god, just stroking themselves aggressively while they. Sorry, this makes me mad. Like, just like because it's out of hand now. There's so much overwhelming evidence. Like, people just say it. Like, no matter what you say, I'm voting red because I don't have the ability to deviate from this. Right? Yep. It's just like just say it, guys. Just say you don't have the mental capacity to be nonpartisan in your choices.
Yep.
Right? And I'm saying that I can't think of a red candidate I've liked in the past more than the blue candidate in my life. But, like, I'm not saying they don't exist. Like, I liked Obama more than I liked Mitt Romney, but I did like Mitt Romney.
I was going to say Mitt Romney actually wasn't that bad. If we're really going to look at like red candidates for a while, like, he wasn't that bad of a choice. I won't lie about that.
And even now, like, if we weren't looking at I will always vote for the wave because progress happens when you have a wave. As long as one of the candidates isn't like saying, yes, we'll eat our children and we'll get rid of vaccines, I'll vote for, whoever would provide the most synergetic control to getting things done,
I think the synergetic thing you said too is good, is a smart thing too. We need synergy in there.
That's why I think it's nice to have flow, Honestly, a party system doesn't work with our government type. Unless if it doesn't, if every vote doesn't need exactly 50%, or 51%, then there's no point in having the system. Because you'll never get 2/3 vote for anything. That anything controversial, you'll never get 2/3 vote. You get partisan splits. And so basically it's just whichever party's in control does everything for a while, and then that switches and it happens again. So
and then everything gets reverted once the other place takes over, and nothing actually, gets progressed.
Yeah. So having blue in all three levels of lawmaking would be nice. It would get things done.
Oh yeah. And Daniel comes in with I think it should be majority rule, and I agree. I mean, that's what
I mean.
Democracy is. That's what it's supposed to be.
Here's the thing: if you get 51%, that means that 49% of the country is going to be unhappy with what they've got. They're going to wait 4 years and be miserable. That's why partisan things don't work, because you're going to always have about half the country miserable for 4 years.
That's how it always goes.
Yeah, it's just not.
You see the
how
same
things
people.
Should work.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. You're good.
No, I was just saying, like, you saw the same thing with people who were Obama supporters, or I mean, not who were against Obama. Now that you see, I mean, I think you have more reason to be against Trump than you did Obama. That's my side of, my opinion on that. But you saw the same things, though. The same.
Look at the aggression of support, though. You didn't see people like aggressively supporting Obama, and I just got the 59-minute reminder. So, folks, we're gonna wrap up now at 59 minutes. Thank you for tuning in. Look out, we're going to actually be starting a Minecraft server for people to actually come and play with us and stuff, with Pixelmon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah. We're actually already in the process of getting that going, so we'll have more information on that in the future. Aside from that, keep yourselves educated, read, don't buy the book, and have a great day.
Don't buy it. Sanitize, yo.